I'm Marlene of Marlene Motivates, and welcome to the Motivated Podcast. Be encouraged, be inspired, and be yourself.
Be encouraged, be inspired, be yourself, you will survive. Just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life.
Hello to all of my motivators family. How are you doing? Happy new week. I haven't got to talk to you so far this week. I hope all is well in your world and you're in a position of peace and joy, happiness, high energy, high vibes, all of it. I'm sending you all of that energy. So thank you all so much for being here. And here in the chat, we have Lynn's Life Lessons. Hi, Miss Lynn. How are you doing? Welcome. I really appreciate you being here. Happy Tuesday to you. Thank you for uh, popping in and paying my channel a visit. And to everybody who is here, if you're new to this channel, I'm Marlene of Marlene Motivates, your channel for motivation, inspiration, positivity, and mindset shifting. If you have not, please consider subscribing. Okay. So today I'm going to be talking about this subject. It's just something that popped up in my head, and I just said, you know what? I'm going to do a podcast topic about that. Okay. So the topic is why we don't get what we put out. It's a good question, right? Why don't we get what we put out? What do you think is the answer to that? Hey Nate, how are you doing? Happy Tuesday. Shout out to all my mods. Shout out to the channel members. I appreciate everybody's support. So what would you all think? Why do you think we don't get what we put out? I have a few things that I think is the answer. I have four things that I believe to be the ultimate reasons why. Of course, there's many other reasons, but I'm just going to cover 4 points today for it to be four simple things to remember. Okay. So sometimes we don't get the things that we want, or we don't get the things that we put out there in the atmosphere because some things is just not for us. It's just not meant to be for you. We will try to force things, right? We try to make it seem like it belongs to us and it's for us when it could be for your cousin, auntie, mama, friend, whoever, somebody you've seen on social media, trying to duplicate, trying to copy other people. But I'll tell you something, a lot of people are imitated, but you can never be duplicated. Receive the message. There it goes. There's a lot of people who are imitated, but you can never be duplicated. Nobody can ever be you. And I know that oftentimes many people are copied, especially on social media, in the business world, on the job, in school, even within your own relatives. There's always going to be people who will always try to copycat, but nobody can be the original. And I had to learn to come to terms with that, that when you're a bright beam of light, let me break this down for some who may be listening and don't understand it. When you're a bright beam of light, people are attracted to your brightness. They're attracted to the energy that you give off, and they want that. They want to be that. But everybody has their own light. You just can't get somebody else's. And I mean that on everything. You can't get somebody else's energy. You can't get what is meant to be for somebody else. You can't. It's impossible. Hey, Realist One, how are you doing? Welcome. Hey, James. Welcome in. Happy Tuesday. How are you doing? How's everybody doing? If you guys could hit the like, I'd really appreciate it. Hey, Shay. How are you doing? Hey. Welcome in, everybody, in the building. Let's see what Shay says. Yes, Marlene, I noticed someone doing this currently, but their spirit isn't right. Listen, there's one thing that I will tell you all, that while somebody could be doing something, and look, even sometimes it could even be successful for a little while, for a little while, but nothing that is meant to be for you. If something has your name written on it, if there's a plan, if there's something, like you've gotten something downloaded inside of you, if it's on your heart, if it's in your head, if it's in your thoughts, and you just go forward and do that. You just go forward and be it. Don't worry about who is doing what, because what's meant to be for you, nobody can stop it and take it away. Absolutely nobody. Yes, I'm not going to lie, it's very irritating. I will say that, Motivators family. I wouldn't be real if I didn't say that. It is. It's irritating. It's annoying. And you just don't understand why people would do that. You kind of expect people to know better and to do better. But you have to remember that a lot of people, they lack imagination, as Boss Life Online always reminds me. A lot of people, they lack imagination, they lack the skill, they lack the talent, because it's not their personal possession. That's what a lot of people just don't understand. They're trying to be what they're not. And you cannot be what you're not, you know? You can't be what is meant to be for somebody else. When somebody has something that is implanted, something that is your talent, that you are made to do this, there's nobody who can duplicate that. Absolutely nobody can duplicate it. Absolutely nobody. Yes, Lynn, it is so true. Yes, that's right. And that's why I always speak all the time about, just know it. Just know who you are as a woman or a man. And a lot of people lack that. They lack knowing who they are because they haven't put in the work. They haven't done any investigation. They haven't done any, meditation. They haven't put in any focus. They haven't done any of the inner work. And sometimes that's exactly what needs to happen. People need to put in some work to identify, am I the problem, or am I the answer? Am I the, sometimes we are our own worst enemies. Sometimes we're our own worst critic. We will sabotage our own success. We will mess up our own blessing. It's right there. The table has been laid, everything. It's all set up for you. All you have to do is reach out and receive it. But we'll find a way to throw a monkey wrench in our plans. We'll try to throw a monkey wrench in, doubting ourselves. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And you'll listen to other people and you'll talk yourself. You'll walk yourself. You'll mess up the best thing that could have ever happened to you, because you're not looking at it and saying, this is meant to be for me. So, this is the message from my spirit. My spirit told me to come on here and to say this, something that you are meant to have, something that is meant to be for you. It is your purpose, it is your reason for existing. It's all for you, even wrapped up with a little bow. Nobody can stop it or slow it down. Okay? Even if somebody imitates you, even if somebody copycats you, there's nobody that can have your personality. There's nobody that can have be a wordsmith like you. No, they may imitate it, but what I've always seen is people who duplicate, copycat people, it doesn't continue for very long, because when something is not implanted inside of you, you'll give up on doing that, because you'll just find something else, because they're so focused on trying to be like everybody else that they haven't come to the place where they even know who they are. That's interesting. Yeah, They have not come to the place where they even know who they are and what they're meant to be, what they're meant to do. And that's all it is. Yes, realist. Common sense ain't hardly as common. It really isn't. Yes, Shay. Vaccinates. Hello, Doretha. How are you doing? Happy Tuesday. Welcome in. Shout out to all my mods. Shout out to the mods. Nate says, can't stop yourself from being great, but sometimes we all have some greatness inside of us, but I know for sure, I'm positive that there's many times where I had something, I mean, it was right there in front of me. All I had to do is reach out and take it in. But I refused it because I doubted myself, because I listened to other people when they would say, oh, I don't think that's a good idea. You shouldn't do that. And then I doubted myself. I doubted the spirit. I doubted all the work that I have been doing all along, just because I didn't have enough strength from within to say, no, this is my gift. No, this is my blessing, and then take it in. So, whoever needs to hear this message, when something is meant to be for you, don't let anybody talk you out of your gift. Don't let nobody talk you out of your blessing. Don't let nobody talk you out of doing what you're meant to do. Because when something is meant for you, it's implanted. It's like something written in permanent ink. It can't be blotted out. That's yours. That's your gift. So receive it. So receive it, everybody. Okay. Yes, the blueprint in life is always be yourself and do what's good for you. Okay. Do you hear me? Do what's good for you. Now, I'm not saying be negative, hate on people, none of that. I mean that we need to, as women and as men, and especially I'm speaking to all of you, as mature. See, we're moving past the normal that we're grown. Of course, we all know we're grown. Yeah. But then how do we act? How do we act in real time? How do we act in the spirit? And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Lynn says, you needed to hear this. Amen. I'm glad to hear that. Hey, East, how are you doing? Welcome in. Okay, now let's get to the second point, because I think that this is very valid. I'm going to drop the link after I get to my point number 4. So the next point is, we don't get what we put out a lot of times because we aren't paying attention to the energy. Have you ever been around some people and you're just like, the energy is off? Okay. The energy is off with that one. And you're pointing your finger or you're looking, you're suspicious, and they may seem to be popular. They put on a good smile. They talk real nice. They look really good. But something within you, you're like, nope, nope, nope. Something, yeah. Something about that one. It's something off. So when someone's energy is off, when whatever the energy is, if the energy is weird, if the energy is controlling, the energy is jealous, the energy is wicked, trust the energy that people show up as. Because you never know what somebody is going through. But at the same time, you don't have to be a doormat, and then, you don't have to learn from it. You don't have to be bulldozed or railroaded. When someone comes at you and you're like, that energy is kind of weird or off, I'm good. It's time for me to go. That's all we have to do. That's all I'm saying, motivators. When the energy shows up as something is off with somebody, you don't have to get taken advantage of or disrespected or anything like that. If it does not feel right, move along. Move along. Okay. Hey, ESAT Plus, move along. Move along. That's all. That's all we have to do. Oh, I'm sure. Yes, realist. That energy is very transparent. Even if they, we've all seen them. A lady or a gentleman shows up, and you're like, oh, they're fooling everybody, but you've already peeped it. You've already, I see you. And even though you look good, you're talking good, but something is with your energy that is not right. The energy may be evil. The energy may be, they're not who they say they are, but you already can pick up on it. You don't have to fall down. You don't have to be taken advantage of. But when you see someone and you're like, this one, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. But yeah, but it is what it is. So yes, Nate, observation is the key. Observation is the key. And as my sister Shayla always says, talking about discernment, when we discern that something, yeah, pay attention, you know, as Shay always says, tap into discernment. Tap into discernment, everybody, and pay attention to that. What they show up as, believe them. As my Angelo always said, when someone shows you who they are, believe them, and believe them the first time. Let's not fall down on our face several times and still expecting for people to change. Stop falling flat on your face and expecting for people to change, or acting surprised when they've already shown you, like, I've already shown you that I'm cutthroat. I've already shown you that I'm evil. I've already shown you that I'm a manipulator. I've already shown you that I'm a liar and a thief. They've already shown you all of those things. So when someone shows up and they've represented that, will you pay attention? Hmm. Sometimes that's the reason why you don't get back what you put out, because you're putting out all of these good things and you're not going to receive good for when you're just throwing your wisdom, throwing your life, throwing your positive energy and your spirit to people who they're not going to appreciate that. You have to make sure you're touching the right people, the right audience, the people who truly care about you, the people who, what you're supposed to be doing in your life. If just like the Bible says, if you throw your pearls before swine, okay? If you already know they're, around in the mud, they're going to be rolling around in the mud. If you roll around in the mud with them, you're going to get just as dirty as them. So that's just a message to whoever needs to hear it. My spirit said to bring that up, so I was obedient. So the next thing that I want to talk about is we have to pay attention to the actions, right? We don't always get back what we put out because we're not paying attention to the actions. Okay? We look at somebody in their words, okay? We're looking at them in their face and they're telling you a bold-faced lie. They're looking at you and you already know they said that they're going to do that, but their past has all shown up. They've already shown you multiple times that I just say this to try to trap you. I try to say this to love bomb you. I try to say this so that I can get what I want. I try to say this to guilt you into doing what I want you to do. And there's a lot of people out there. That's why this message is a strong one. It's a powerful message from the spirit. And my spirit says we have to start paying attention to the actions. Who cares what words they say? They could say all the sweetest, nicest words. I love you. I care about you. You're my best friend. I'm in love with you. Yada, yada, yada. They say all the words. Oh, and that sounds so good. And you fall for it when you're in the trap. But that's the reason why you're getting that back. Because we have these ideas sometimes in our head, and I'm going to get to that in the next point. But, we're not always paying attention to the actions. We're not paying attention to the red flags. And I'm telling you, the red flags are going off everywhere. The red flags are going off, is pinging everywhere. This is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. You know it. And you feel it in your spirit. Like your heart is saying, don't do this. You need to get away from this person. This person keeps doing this, this, and this. And you know all of those things. But sometimes we don't want to be wrong. And that's the reason why you're getting back what you put out, because you know it. You know it, but you don't want to believe it. You know it already. And it's time that we move past the, we are grown, because being grown does not automatically make you wise. The wisdom belongs to somebody who foresees something, that sees the detriment, that sees that you're gonna fall, crash out, that it's not gonna end well. You know that already. And if you really pay attention, okay, to the actions of people, you will find out that's not somebody that I want to align myself with. That's not someone that I can believe in. That's not somebody I should trust. Because look at the actions of people. How do they, number one, treat themselves? How do they treat other people? What is their track record? Do we go there? Do we allow ourselves to go there? Paying attention to the track record of other people, or do we just ignore it? And I can say for a very long time, I ignored it. I ignored people's track record. Okay. Yes. And if we don't have the same intentions as them, if we don't pay enough attention, we can miss it. Yes, you can. Hey, Colton, how are you doing? Welcome. Happy Tuesday. Hello, Sirius. How are you doing? Happy Tuesday. I hope you're doing well. Hope everybody's doing amazing. Hope you had a good Tuesday. Realist says, also, they make that mistake thinking we weren't paying attention. And that's what it is. Sometimes people, because they've been so used to pulling the wool over so many people's eyes, and we've heard it all many, many times when people will say, that's just who they are. Like that's a justification, because okay, so who they are is evil, manipulative, a thief, a liar, a controller, a jealous person, lazy, and that makes it okay. And I've heard people justify that. Well, you know how they are. Yeah, we know how they are, but if you continue to allow it, if you continue to let people do those things and still give them all the benefits, they're still getting all the perks. Why would a person make changes? See, sometimes we have to pull away from people to cause them to elevate, to mature, to look at themselves in the mirror. And I do understand that some people never will fully mature, but there's a lot of people who do not deserve our time, our effort, our energy, our light, because they dim our light. They pull from us. They take so much. Some people, just being around them, being in a relationship with them is so draining. I don't know if you all have ever been in relationships like that. Like all you want to do after dealing with them is sleep. They take everything away from you. Oh, just thinking about it again makes me feel exhausted. They exhaust you. They try to exhaust all your resources. They just like give you a literal headache sometimes, or a migraine, because they're so taxing on your spirits because of their immaturity, or because they're making a choice to be negative and to never mature. And that's just not going to work. Always phenomenal, serious, always phenomenal. I'm glad you are as well. And the thing about this life, the thing about this life is that we have to pay attention to their actions as well as ours. Okay. When somebody shows you something, and there's a lot of people who like to do the mirroring thing. When you do something, they'll do the same thing like that. You know, those are the people you stay away from them. Just ignore them. Let them go on with their shenanigans, their immaturity, their drama. Let them do what they do, and then you continue to do what you're supposed to do. Most of the time when somebody shows us something, we feel like we need to get even. I need to get some revenge. I got to get back at them. No, leave those people, because trust and believe, what a person does in the dark always comes to the light. What goes around comes around, and I'm telling you, every time, without a doubt, when people mess with people who are a very powerful person, a person who has been through a lot, a person who has been kicked and beat down for so long, who has been taken advantage of in more ways than one. Trust and believe, one day that same thing, when I say the boomerang comes back around, when the boomerang comes back around, it's gonna slap them and knock them down. The boomerang doesn't play. So while we may not be able to see what everything that they have done, we've never been able to see sometimes the consequences of people's actions. But trust me, you don't get away with it forever. You can't get away with it forever. So we have to pay attention to people's actions, and also we have to pay attention to ours. When someone shows you this, then how will I react? They show up with this energy and you show up with yours. They show you this, that they're nasty, and you don't shift and change because they're nasty. You would show up nasty. No, you show them who you are. Don't let anybody bring you down. Let them continue to be nasty and all of those things. Let them be themselves. You continue to be a bright beam of light. You continue to do the right thing. You continue to be on an upward cycle. Okay, you just continue. That's all I can say about that. You just continue. Thank you so much, Sirius. I truly appreciate it. Thank you for being a member for 7 months. I just, sometimes you just can't fathom, like you can't comprehend it in your mind, the amount of the things that people do. Sometimes they go through so much work to be mischievous. They go through so much work to be so hurtful. They do so much when it would be so much easier if you would just do the right thing, but they won't do the right thing. And you don't understand, when you don't do the right thing to others, when it comes back, most of the time the things that come back to us, oh man, when it comes back, you get more pain. It's more hurtful. I'm telling you, it's just not worth it to try to hurt people, to try to manipulate people, to try to do these wrong things. It's just not worth it. Yes, Nate. Thank you so much, Sirius, for the super sticker. I truly appreciate it. Thank you so much. You know what we have to do? Let me remove this banner when the super chat hits. And I believe I owe you more than one play. So I'm going to play this twice for you. Thank you so much, Sirius. And this one is for Blaze. I know he gave me a super chat the other day. So thank you so much, Blaze. And one more time, this one was from Miss Nexie. Thank you, Miss Nexie. Yes, appreciate all of the super chatters. Thank you. Shout out to my Cash App. Thank you for those who hit me on the Cash App as well. I truly appreciate you all. Come on, realists. You got to give Panda some love. Shout out to you, Sirius. Thank you. Thank you, Blaze, and thank you, Miss Nexie. So let's get back. This is the fourth point, everybody. We don't always get back what we put out because we want to believe it will work. How many of us do that? We keep doing things, you keep doing the same things over and over again, expecting different results. And you know what that's called? That's called insanity. That's the definition of insanity. Doing the same things and expecting different results. It's already been shown. If you do this plus this equals this. You can't do this plus this and then expect to get something good. It does not work that way. But a lot of people do. They believe that they can do whatever and the chips will fall into play and nobody will really notice, and I've been getting away with it and nobody will ever find out. Trust and believe. Trust and believe. Sometimes you really don't. We really don't. Hold on a second, guys. Sometimes we don't know the impact. We don't know how much we hurt people. And being somebody who is a very transparent person, sometimes we really hurt our relatives. We really hurt our friends. We really disappoint other people. And some things can't be helped because just because of our human nature, we're not perfect. But at the same time, we can't use it as an excuse. I've heard a lot of people say, oh, I'll just do whatever I want. They'll forgive me because they're a kind person, because they're a person of faith, because they're a loving person, they're kind or whatever. But everybody is not going to just let somebody keep kicking them and breaking them down and taking advantage of them and not showing up for them and failing to support them. We also have to pay attention. Sometimes the reason why we don't get back what we put out is because we have not set a standard. And I know, as someone who is fully accountable and transparent, I know for many, many years, I would just let people do whatever they wanted to me. I surely did. Because sometimes we did not know our worth, or we weren't confident enough. We did not want to start any controversy. We don't want to confront. We don't want any drama. But at the same time, you have some internal drama going on because they are doing what they're doing. Now you have certain issues. So, remember, everybody, protect home base first. Protect yourself. We will be loyal so often to so many people, but we fail to be loyal to ourselves. Okay? Yes, as many people do, realists. Many, many people do. I sure did. I did take something, but it's not really helping me that much. But thank you for your concern. Yeah, ain't that the crazy part though? When they get that same energy back, they can't handle it. And haven't you all noticed that the people who talk the most noise, they can't back up. They can't back it up. They hurt people. They let people down. They're very rude. They're very disrespectful. And the moment when they start getting what they've put out, they're getting the repercussions. They're getting you know, they're getting what they've been laying out. one by one, the cards are being dealt to them. Okay. And sometimes the things that we get is because of what we've done to others. And, you have to suffer the consequences. Just saying you're sorry, that's not enough. You know, just because people say they're sorry, that's a thing that we have to understand, that people have to be more than sorry. They surely do. You have to be more than sorry. Yes, working on it, serious, working on it. So, that's one of the things about this life is we don't always get back what we put out there, and we can't expect to. I don't think there's anybody out there that's like honestly striving for perfection. But one thing that we have to really and truly pay attention to is we have to look at the signs, we have to look at the treatment, and we also have to pay attention to how we feel. And, I've said that before on different videos and live streams. Pay attention to how you feel, not what other people do, because people can be doing something nice for you, but they'll be doing it like in a nice, nasty way. I'll do this for you. Oh, I'm coming. Like they're doing it for you, but they're not doing it with the right intention. They're not doing it with love. Or if they do something for you, they have to toot their horn. They have to tell everybody, I'm doing this and this for this person. And that doesn't feel good. I've never liked anything like that. And I can't stand when somebody does that. It's very unnerving. When someone has to tell everybody, I did this for this person and I did that. I always say, if you have to toot your horn and tell others what you do, then keep that. Then keep it, you know, keep it. It's better if you don't do something than to do something and make another person feel like they're nothing. They had to sell their soul just to get your help. And that's not help. That's, you did that for clout. You did that for kudos. And if you're doing things, I will say this, because I had to take a piece of humble pie myself. Sometimes you're doing things and you're not trying to do it, but if you do something, why do you have to tell anybody? Just do something. If you're going to do something for somebody, just do it. You don't have to tell your spouse or significant other, your friends, other relatives. You don't have to tell nobody. What is going on between you and somebody else is the two of you business. Hold on a second, guys. And that's the thing. Hey, Tamika, how are you doing? Welcome in. Yes. Like, why would you do it in the first place if it wasn't genuine? And you know what? I feel like 100%. A lot of people don't know how to be genuine. They have There's no genuineness. They've been fake for so long. They've been controlling, manipulative. They've been all of these things. But the whole thing about it is, I know that this is not going to be received well. I know a lot of people aren't going to like what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it anyways, because that's what I do over here. We see sometimes that people, your own relative, your own friends, or in the dating time, you see some of these red flags. You see that they're doing X, Y, and Z to you or somebody else, and we'll just ignore it. And ignoring a problem does not make it go away. And ignoring a problem only makes more problems. That's all it does. Ignoring a problem does not solve anything, it just makes more problems. See, let's go back to this point. But it hasn't. You've seen it over and over again. You're trying to force somebody into a mold that's it just doesn't fit. If something doesn't work, it doesn't work. Or you've seen the energy, you've seen the actions, you've seen the manipulation, you've seen the tactics, but yet you still are trying to pretend. And I want to say to everybody, don't pretend to say something is working if it's not working. We have to first learn to be honest with ourselves. Until you learn how to be honest with yourself, nothing is going to go right. You could fool everybody, but you cannot fool yourself, because eventually the bottom will fall out. The bottom always falls out. It always finds a way for you to either be humbled, for you to be able to see what you've been not wanting to see, but it is what it is. So sometimes the reason why our life is going the way that it is because we're allowing ourselves to believe these preconceived notions like, this is the person of my dreams. No, you've said that. Or this is my best friend. No, they're not your best friend. They're a user. They're just only here to get free meals or to get your advice or to get into networking circles or whatever the case may be. And on social media, people call people their friends, and they are no friend, because behind their back, they're doing a lot of double talking, a lot of evil things, a lot of things. So be careful, everybody, whether it's on the internet, whether it's in person. Pay attention to the actions of people. Pay attention to not only what people say, but what they do. Sometimes it's just actually better if people just don't say anything. I'd rather a person just do something, just do the right thing. Don't tell me who you are, prove it, show it. And it does take a very mature woman or man to be able to follow through with that. You could say everything all day long. I do this, I do this, but then back up what you say. And I have to take my own advice on that too, because when you know that you don't like someone's energy, you don't like how someone's treating you, and now you have the opportunity to face it. Do you just say, "Oh, that's okay," or you turn the other cheek? There's one thing with turning the cheek for simple things, a difference of opinion or something like that. But I mean, when someone is just like malicious, grimy, evil, no, you can't. No, I'm not going to keep turning my cheek. No, there's no forgiveness first for certain things. You have to give that over to the spirit, because I'm not the one. So I just want to give you all elevation, a motivational thought, that you don't have to be the doormat of other people. You can make better choices. That's the point. You know, we don't get back what we put out because you keep making poor choices. And until you start making better choices, you will continue to get the garbage. You will continue to get the drama. You'll continue to get all of these things. But until you start making better choices, associating with people who are elevated, people who do the right thing and treat people the right thing, people who give off the positive energy, and they do what they say. You don't have to run behind them, you don't have to check on them. One thing that I've been really paying attention to recently is, I'm definitely a mama bear. I'm very protective of my people. And I had to learn recently that I can't mama bear everybody. It's not my job to follow behind people and say, hey, do this, hey, do that. A person has to want to do that. A person has to want to be mature. A person has to want to love you and be kind to you. A person has to do the right thing first. It's not my job or responsibility to keep saying, hey, are you going to do this? Or no, they have to be accountable to themselves. They have to be mature. They have to be consistent. I can't make people do the right thing. I had to stop wasting my precious energy and my time on people who are not in that space. Either somebody can do something or be something, or they can't. See, we have to pay attention to that, motivators. Sometimes people can't give us what we want. Hmm, that's a really hard pill to swallow. We want people to give us certain things, but they can't. If I feel in my gut it's not genuine, then I don't want it. Yes. Hey, Von D, how are you doing? Welcome in. Happy Tuesday. I think folk need to understand not to throw that friend word around so frequently. And people say it all the time. They do. People say it all the time. That's my friend. When they have been no friend to you, they've been nothing but a freeloader, a controller, using up all your resources and your energy, breaking down your spirit. Let me tell you something. That's the reason why sometimes we're not getting what we want, what we need, what we deserve, because we're wasting our time, our energy, our efforts on people that don't need to be in our life from the beginning. I know that's a message served hot, and it's not going to be well received, but that's what it is. There are certain people that do not deserve a space in our life. And I'm just being honest. They don't deserve to be there from the beginning. Like, how did you get through? Okay. How did you get through it all? It's crazy. But it is what it is. A person has to want to be in that space. You know, a person has to want to be in this space of maturity. A person has to want to be in a space of personal growth. And what I learned is I can't get what I want until I put myself in the position to believe in myself, to be confident, to make better choices and decisions, to align myself with the right people, to constantly support and clap for myself and encourage myself. And a lot of times that we will be clapping for people that are not clapping for us. So that's a part of protecting your energy to everybody, not wasting your energy on others. Not that you won't be happy for other people, but you don't pour all of your energy into somebody. It's just like pouring all of your energy, your time, your love onto the ground. You're wasting everything, and it's very aggravating. So when we see that someone is just not deserving of our time, our effort, our love, then have enough courage to walk away. And I know that it's not easy. It's definitely not easy to walk away from people who are users. It's definitely not easy. It's very hard, because when you really care about people, sometimes we love people more than they love us. And then when you find out, then you have to ask yourself, what am I going to do about that? I had to do a lot of inner work on myself to come to that space. Just because you love somebody does not mean they love you back. So that's why you're not getting what you want out of this life, because you're expecting something from someone that they cannot give you. They cannot give you that because they don't have it. They don't possess it. They don't want to do that. There are some people that all they want to do is control you. All they want to do is use you. All they want to do is take from you. They don't want to give you anything. And that's hard to receive that, but that's what it is. Mm-hmm. That is what it is. So, it's all of those things. I just want you all to, be aware of all of it, and You know, keep your eyes open, pay attention to your spirit, how you feel, and also remember to tap into your soul, okay? Tap into your soul. You know, are these people causing you to do some grimy, underhanded things? Are you going to sell your soul because of love, quote unquote? Are you going to do all of these dark things? Think about what who you're hurting. Think about the consequences of your actions before you do it. Mm. And we don't always. We want things to happen fast and rapidly. We don't want to wait. So, there's that too. We have to learn patience. I think everybody has to learn a little more patience, a little more patience, no matter who you're dealing with, from your child to your significant other to a friend to business deals. Everything requires patience. Everything, everything requires patience. Yes, it's impossible. Yeah. Yeah, you got that right. you know. So, I just wanted to tap in for a little while and to say this. You know how I always say over here, just know it, just breathe it and be it. I wanted to say that, when you know who you are, I want to give this as a reminder. Know that you are a bright beam of light, and you know that people are going to be drawn to you because of what you do, because of your insights, your intellect, your beautiful soul. People are attracted to that. And there are going to be people who are going to try to suck all of the life out of you, suck all of the hope out of you, because that's what they do. So we may not be getting back things because you have to pay attention. Don't involve your heart so quickly. Don't be so easily trusting. Make people work to have a space in your life. Make people work, and if they don't want to work and show you the proper actions, then no, it's a no. It's a hard pass. Okay, pass them up. Don't think that. I want to say this to all of my single people. Don't think that you have to settle because you may be lonely, quote unquote. You don't have to settle. The moment that you settle, in walks the thing that you've been wishing and hoping for. And you compromise, and all you have to do is wait just a little while longer. So, patience. Patience, brothers and sisters. Continue on. And, also just be it. Be your real and authentic self. Don't let anybody stop you from being your real and authentic self. Never give up on that. That's what I wanted to say on today. I appreciate every single one of you, motivators, family. Be encouraged, be inspired, and be yourself. And thank you so much for tuning into the Motivated Podcast. I'm Marlene of Marlene Motivates, where I speak on motivation, inspiration, and positivity. If you have not subscribed and you've enjoyed the content, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit the like. It's free, 99. It's free. It won't cost you a thing, okay? So be encouraged. Keep your head up and pay attention, okay? Pay attention to the actions of people, because we it follows us for a long time. Some things we can't recover. I've known people who have been unalived behind listening to and believing in somebody, and they knew the red flag was there. And I would never want to see anything like that happen to any of you beloved motivators. Keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, and keep your spirits high and bright. I'm Marlene of Marlene Motivates, and you've tuned into the Motivated Podcast. Shout out to my mods and my channel members. Okay. Yes, exactly, 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 realists. Thank you so much, James. Shout out to everybody. Everybody have a great rest of your Tuesday, and I will see you back on the next one. Be encouraged, be inspired, and be yourself.
Be encouraged, be inspired, be yourself, you will survive. Just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life.
Forgive me, I love me. I've been blessed that I have made it through. I'm stronger and worthy. I am enough now. What about you? I forgive me, I love me. I've been blessed that I have made it through. I'm stronger and worthy. I am enough now. What about you? Ooh, yeah.